When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
Hey, we're back on the show. Justine McIntyre here, sitting in for Elias Makos on Election Day for the United States. And we've had a chance to talk about this on the Big Five. We've had a chance to talk about it also with some of our listeners who called in earlier. And now we're going to speak with Mariana Alfaro. She is the national politics reporter for The Washington Post. Mariana, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Listen, thanks for taking time. I imagine it's a very busy day for you.
Oh, yes. I mean, technically, I don't have to be in the office until 3 when things really start kicking in, but, been awake since 7. So.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So, I guess my first question is, what is the mood where you are right now? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? What are you hearing around you?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm stationed in D.C., so basically it's kind of, it feels a little bit like 2020. I'm not going to lie. It's just a lot of tension, a lot of, the polls are so close that it's really hard to tell which way it could go. I'm really not a prediction maker, but I really think that this one's just a harder one to tell. And in the city, I mean, after January 6th, 2021, we're seeing how the officials here have prepared a little better for any potential unrest. There's, the streets are boarded up, the stores have plywood all over them. There's a lot of security around the White House, a lot of security around the Congress, around the vice president's residence. So I think, if anything, we learned a lot from January 6th that, things could get out of hand. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but there's definitely this feeling of tension and, unclarity this morning.
So some preparations happening in case things do get out of hand. I saw a little bit of video. Of course, I'm not there. You are. But just what I saw in the video, big fences being put up, as you mentioned, stores being boarded up with plywood. I mean, these are the kinds of things that for us Canadians, we're not used to seeing stuff like that. Is it kind of adding to the anxiety almost to see these things going up?
I mean, it genuinely did not. I mean, if you'd asked me a month ago, are these preparations going to be necessary? I would have probably said, oh, yeah, I guess. Like, I wouldn't have considered this much. I didn't know that we were this concerned, but I think perhaps it is more of a precaution than a response to any potential signals. I think, it's new. It definitely wasn't like this back in 2016. I think that this is just like preparing in case it gets as bad as it did in 2021. But again, I think, there hasn't been a lot of signs that things get out of hand. I think it's more of like a precaution in case this happens. But I was also on a call with, the sheriff's office over in Palm Beach County, which is where President Donald Trump's going to spend the night and have a watch party. And they're also, at a higher level, too, of security. They're, outlining which streets people can go on. There's going to be a specific zone for protesters. There's going to be a specific zone for his supporters. So I think that this is more of a, reaction to what happened 4 years ago rather than like a response to anything that's been signaled online or anything.
Well, certainly better safe than sorry. I guess it's better to be prepared in case something does happen. But of course, we as your neighbors are watching you and hoping that everything happens very calmly. So far, so good. I'm seeing footage everywhere. Everybody's reporting on the story today, and it looks like polling has been very peaceful. What's the turnout like so far?
Yes, I think that already, just from early ballots, there's been more than 80 voters already who made their decision. I think that so far we've had very few reports of problems with voting across the country. Lines are long, especially in swing states, but it's nothing out of the blue, out of the normal. The polls are going to stay open until the night. So we'll see. I don't really have a number right now of how many folks have headed in, but we do know that we have a really good number of early voting that is going to start being counted. So I do expect to see some early results around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern.
I saw Elon Musk on Twitter trying to throw some shade on some of the voting systems and trying to already kind of destabilize and maybe cast some doubt on whether or not the system is working properly. Have you heard anything about that? Or, is everything working properly, I guess is the question.
I mean, so far, every system's been working great. I think there has been no reports of machinery dysfunctioning. And again, these are machines that have been used time and time again. They've been double, triple checked this time. I think secretaries of state around the country knowing that all this attention was going to be put on them and the way that these votes are counted, have done, extremely good work reassuring the public that everything is in line. I am not surprised by what Mr. Musk has said online. I mean, Donald Trump in his final rally last night was also already kind of preparing the groundwork for saying that the election was stolen, again, without any evidence. But I think it's not new for the people on the former president's side to kind of try to cause some panic or cause some concerns among their voters. But so far, the evidence shown that nothing's going wrong. So hopefully things stay that way.
Is the former President Trump, is he likely to try to do something like what we've heard he may do, is to try to declare an early victory, despite what the results are saying, no matter which way things are coming in? Is he likely to come out early and declare victory and in that way already start to cast some doubt on the outcome?
Yes, I think we have seen some early signs that might be his thinking. I think, just last night, again, at this rally, he was saying, we have an early lead with the early voting. And again, that's impossible to know. We don't know how the results of the early voting until the votes actually start being counted. But he's starting to, plant those little seeds of being like, I'm ahead. And, it would be weird if I'm suddenly not ahead anymore. But it wouldn't be weird. That's kind of how the polls work. There's a certain group of people that vote early. There's a certain group of people that show up on the day to vote. So I think that there have been some early signs. Again, he hasn't said anything directly already declaring victory, but I think that, the way elections work in the U.S. is so big and complicated, and there's so many layers and factors that it's easy to sow doubt wherever it may seem suspicious, just because people are not fully aware of how these systems work.
Mm-hmm. We've been talking a lot also about swing states and the states that are going to be closely watched because the results there are really tight. What are you going to be watching closely tonight as the count unfolds?
Yes, so some of the swing states that are closing their polls relatively, 7, 8 p.m., I'm going to be watching for North Carolina and Georgia. I think that, North Carolina is pretty pivotal for the former president. If he if the early results don't show him ahead, I think that might be signaling some trouble for him. We also do know that Pennsylvania is the state to be won. And I think if Harris is able to hold on to Pennsylvania, along with Michigan or Wisconsin, she probably has a good lead, but we won't be able to know that until perhaps tomorrow because they're very slow about their vote counting. So I'm keeping an eye first on North Carolina and Georgia. And
Harris is in Pennsylvania today, is that right?
I think she is, but I know that she's going to be closing the night today in Washington, D.C., which is where her alma mater of Howard University is. So she's going to be spending the night there. But I do believe that she is having a final event there in Pennsylvania today because she was there last night.
Okay, so Harris will be finishing up in D.C. and Trump will be finishing up in Florida. He'll be spending the evening in Florida. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Well, Mariana, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We're certainly going to be watching it from north of the border, too, and wishing you the best of luck.
Thanks so much. Have a great one.
You too. That was Mariana Alfaro, national politics reporter for The Washington Post.